What if the portal to another world was found within you? I invite you to take a deep cleansing breath and feel the resonant frequencies of this crystal bath. Allow your nervous system to ground and open your throat chakra so that you can open and receive this amazing talisman. Welcome to my next episode of Let's Talk Rocks. Let's dive into the magical mysteries of the Uraeus of Telos talisman. This powerful talisman combines sacred geometry and crystal energies to elevate your spiritual practices. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so very much for being a part of this show. I love doing what I do, it's absolutely the most amazing thing. Like, I love researching into these crystals because there's so much that they can teach us, so much that they can tell us, so much that they can help and assist us. And it's so wonderful how I access this knowledge now. I actually realize that I have to go within to understand what's coming through. I have to bring my awareness to what comes through as I'm actively creating these amazing talismans. So, thank you guys so very much. Hi, everybody. Steve, thank you so much for joining on. Grand Rising. Sylvia, thank you so much. You're so amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in. This is so fun. Before we get started, my name is Vaughn. I'm the artist, owner, and creator of Sweet Rock's handcrafted jewelry, where I create amazing talismans and pieces that are channeled. They're intuitive. We co create them between me and where they go. I work with the mineral kingdom to putting these crystal companions with their perfect owner. And it's amazing. But this one's a little different because we co created it a little differently, which is amazing. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe if you're on my YouTube. Share the love with this. Also, if you're watching from Facebook, you can also hit that like. You can also follow my page. So feel free to share this information because I love decoding these gemstones because truly knowledge is power. We have the ability to heal ourselves, and a lot of it has to do with understanding, learning, education. Knowledge is power. We gave our powers away to knowledge. We gave our power ways to the systems, and we lost track of the things that were natural for us. And all for what? Comfort, luxury, vanity? That's almost what it seems, being comfortable. And the truth is, comfort leads to boredom, which leads to chaos, which leads to essentially war, and crazy times, weird fires that happen, all the weird things. So make sure that you're taking the time to reflect on what feels good to me, what resonates with me. So you can find all of my beautiful creations here at sweetrockshandcraftedjewelry.com. And this is my channel. This is where I believe jewelry is more than pretty, it's healing. When you have the understanding and knowledge of how these crystal companions work for you, it's the most amazing experience how they can enhance what you're doing in your life, how they can enhance your connections to your soul, how they can enhance your actual physical healing. Yes, we have the power. Yes, we have what we need to heal ourselves, but man, crystals sure make it a little easier. So it's so fun. So let's get started. But today, what I created is the Uraeus of Telos talisman. Now, the idea of this name is actually blending two different things together. So the Uraeus is actually the serpent symbol that's represented on the crown of the pharaoh. So we'll show this one of Tut Ankh Amun, I think is how you say it, Tut Ankh Amun. Anyway, but you can see that the Uraeus is that serpent. And what we understand about the metaphysics of the serpent is that it represents knowledge. It represents all of the beautiful wisdom that came. When we look at the garden and the Adam and Eve story in the Garden of Eden, they tell us that the serpent beguiled Eve. But as I'm understanding spirit animals, the serpent represents knowledge, and knowledge should be free. And we take what we want with that knowledge. We should be able to have access to the truth, to all things natural, to who we are as a soul, to how we play this game of life. All of that knowledge should be free for us, and we should be able to discern how we use that. And I believe this world to be a magical place where we get to enjoy and have fun, truly. Yes, we have to get to work. Yes, we have to live life, but we don't need to live life to pay bills. I don't know how else to explain it. We don't need to pay bills. Our life is not here to pay taxes. Our life is not here to pay bills. Our life is not here to pay for utilities. Our life is here to create what we want. Truly, I believe this. And this is why I've been on my path, which is so awesome. So I'll get into this because I'm getting off track here, but this talisman really unlocked a lot of things for me as I was working with it. I've been as I work in my 5D flow state, I am creating very intuitively. I'm pulling all these connections from everywhere, and it's coming in through me, and it's being embodied, and then it's coming through my hands. So it's almost like my hands become the receiver and the conduit, like a bipolar pathway for knowledge. Because I seek knowledge. I want to learn so I can help another. And with this talisman that I created, um, this person, she found me, I believe, through Honey, and she just like, I have these gemstones I've had since the 80s, and I've just had them. And she's probably wanted to wear them. Hell, if you put them on a ring because they're so dang big, it would be a monstrous, like, honking ring. I mean, this thing would stand on your fist like crazy. But as I'm going through and I'm working with these two gemstones and what metaphysically they do, I'm feeling it. I am experiencing it. When I originally framed this and got them all attached, I just kept staring at it and I was like, something was missing. I just couldn't put my finger on it. So I kind of just like put it down for the night. I'm like, there's something missing, because I'm getting to that point where I have to make the bail and tie it all together. But before that happens, I have to make sure that the flow and the architecture and the circuitry is working properly. But I couldn't put my finger on what was missing. Well, that night, our pet companion we adopted, Flake, he's our python. He's about 6 feet long now. He's pretty big, but watching him move and crawl. And again, I'm learning the metaphysics of the serpent. Now that I have a companion, I like to learn about the spiritual aspect of them. And so it's really fun to explore, but watching him move, watching him shift his body and wrap around things to climb up something completely vertical with no arms or no legs. I mean, that's impressive if you actually think about it. Like, can you climb a wall without any arms or legs? That's my point. It's very interesting. Yeah, excuse me. So it's fun to think about. So I'm thinking about the flow, and then I'm looking at the serpent move, my snake spiral, climbing up something. He spirals, and I'm like, huh. I began seeing the sacred geometry of the spiral. I began seeing the correlation of the helix in our DNA strand. I began seeing the correlation of the torus field. Not only is it flowing in this manner, it's also flowing in this manner, but it's also flowing in this manner. That's what makes those electromagnetic fields of the torus field so amazing. So as I'm watching the serpent do its thing, just as an observer, it's the most beautiful experience to witness a something with no arms or legs doing what they do. I mean, they're very vulnerable. We just fed Flake a rat, and it was interesting watching how this worked, watching how a predator would stalk its prey, and watching how fast it acts. Like these, we think of a snake as like, oh, they can't move, but dang, they move so fast. I'll tell you what, it's the wildest thing. But we can also learn a lot from how a serpent would live. As I've been coming to find in the metaphysics of it, we have the serpent that basically it's an observer. It watches, it learns, it adapts. Like it kind of has to surrender and go with the flow. In a way, the way it lives is it has to live in like the flow of water. It has to do its waves. It has to, like, when you watch its body move, it's like it's crazy how, anyway, watching how the muscles contract and allow it to move. It's moving like water. Which again, as I understand water is consciousness. So the way that a serpent exists metaphysically parallels water, consciousness, knowledge, and a lot of like surrendering, like going with the flow. They kind of have to, which is very interesting. So what was missing in this talisman, I'll bring it back up, was this. So I added what symbolized the serpent flow, this coiling, this serpent weave in the middle. You can see that. I call it serpent weave because it came from my Python companion. Um, but it was just super cool to realize how the helix flow going up and moving back down, because the coiling on that has two wires. So the intention of it is that one is to go up and the other one is to go down. And the way I linked both ends of it, anchor it down. But what's interesting, we'll get to the front of this. You can see the coiling here. It starts here at the base, the anchor, with the golden labradorite. It coils around, then it like moves its way around the back, comes up around the top, and then you can see how it anchors into here on the bale. But if you look at the very top, look how it just like merges into the this two-wire coil. Caduceus, I think, is what they call it, a Cardaceus flow, energetic flow, I think is actually the term for that. So it's Cardaceus. But it goes up into the bale, and the bale essentially becomes like the head, so it's anchoring down and holding on to this pendant in a sense. So let me zoom up here and I'll show you guys this. But so you can see in the bale, okay, how it wraps up and around. But when it coils up, it turns into the back of it, and then it becomes the bale. So we added the little head there, but I did it in kind of a heart-shaped form because I didn't want to make it creepy. So I added the 3 hearts. Again, we have the 3, 3, 3, but we're also working with 1 and 1 too. So working with the sacred geometry of that. But we also have it again. So you can see the coil down here. Then it like wraps around, comes up and continues wrapping again in the helix, comes back around. Super cool. So I'll show you the little video because this one is absolutely amazing in the sunlight. I mean, my gosh, it's spectacular. I mean, but look at this. I mean, this thing explodes with color. It's just like, bam, here I am, ta-da! It's the most amazing explosion of color. And I believe this type of cut is called a fantasy cut. I'm not entirely sure because gemology is I'm very new at learning about this. But I believe this is called the fantasy cut. And what's interesting is the cuts of it have these crescent shapes. So it's almost like chiseled, like with a crescent chisel, and it's just like sliced through. And that's what gives it that magnificent sparkle. I mean, it is just exploding with it. But you can see the gold, you can see the purple of this ametrine, and the way that it shifts and shimmers, you see the gold and the purple differently. It's almost flowing like water. But then we have this golden labradorite. Yes, labradorite does indeed come in gemstone. I was in disbelief when I was originally told this was labradorite. I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen that. Now, I wasn't doubting it was possible, but I had to do some deep research to find out what makes this one so different. But again, this one is just like, boom, sunlight energy, solar plexus, wham. And what's crazy is that the labradorite of this is very, very different compared to its, counterpart that we are all used to. I mean, shoot, I don't have a labradorite in front of me. Normally I'm wearing mine, but we see the labradorescence, the flash that pops through with the right sun angle. And, but this is inverted. This is more outward projection rather than pulling in the light to get its labradorescence. It's projecting it. And so it's hard to capture in the image in the video, but it does actually have rainbow projection lights coming out. The prisms coming out, and it's just the most beautiful thing. So let's go ahead and show this video, which is so amazing. But you can see the sparkle, how it comes to life. It's flowing. It's beautiful. I mean, it's magnificent. I mean, it's mesmerizing to stare at this. I almost don't want to give it back because it's like I can't help but gaze at this thing. Now on the back there, you can see the serpent weave, how it flows, but also notice the tetrahedron points. Okay, that's what made this heart shape so different. Gives me a new perspective to the heart shape when we're looking at platonic solids. So if we're looking with So if we're looking with the platonic solids, we have the tetrahedron. Okay, so this is the heart shape, has the points drawn out like this on the back of the gem. Okay, so you can see the tetrahedron that's forming in here. And so this is the back. Okay, you see the tetrahedron points there. How it pulls this out. That's those tetrahedron points I was talking about. So to make the heart-shaped gemstone, it follows this geometry. Isn't that crazy? I was just like, what? This is mind-blowing, which gives you this just, I mean, magnificent sparkle. Yeah, right here, just this magnificent sparkle. I mean, it really is just so amazing. I mean, I can't. I'll just be honest with you. It's the most magical thing. So let's get into the metaphysics of it. Yeah, I guess I better read my chats. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she actually is really happy. I've shared it with her already. I'm like, hey, I finally did it, but I'm gonna do a decode because I want to know the difference between this labradorite gemstone versus a regular labradorite. Because again, I'm still in disbelief. I'm just like, I'm not buying it, but I'm not saying it's not possible. There's so much in there in the mineral kingdom that I have yet to even learn. So I love working with labradorite, but never have I heard of labradorite gemstones. Like, what the heck is this? It's just amazing. So yeah, Tina, we are creators. We are creators, and we make this reality what we want. You know, these deletes, as I call them, telling us how to live our life. They've mastered this. They just do it because they don't want anyone else to have this. They want to have it all for themselves. And so, my journey with crystals is teaching how you can attain your own sovereignty, your own freedom, your own power back, how you can take this back and start living your life abundantly and full of life. I mean, I believe life was meant to be enjoyed. We shouldn't be having to live in fear and worry and all the things. It's just incredible. And you can even tell in the tone of my language or how I'm speaking how different this energy is because I'm still kind of connected to it. But that's because I slept with it last night. I had it, on my headboard next to my head, and I'm like, hey, teach me what I need to know about these minerals and how it worked for the body and share any information that's relevant to this. So yeah, I've been connected. I even did a sound bath with it today. By the way, the 432 hertz frequency is a great activator for ametrine and labradorite. If you're cleansing or charging your crystals, 432 hertz is a great one to work with those. So let's go ahead and get into the metaphysics of this, of the ametrine. I love working with ametrine for a lot of reasons. I don't have that talisman with me, but I like it because amethyst is a quartz crystal, okay, and it's quartz because of its hexagonal crystalline structure, tetrahedron hexagonal crystalline matrix. That's what makes it a quartz crystal. But the ametrine, with different heat and pressure and certain elements, it brings out that purple color. And metaphysically, coming of the earth, coming of the soil, seeded by the mycelium kingdom, it's carrying the knowledge, wisdom, and light of God, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth herself. And I feel like the purple amethyst is her color. But what's interesting that makes it so different, the ametrine so different from regular amethyst or regular citrine, is that it is bridging both the crown, the third eye, the heart, and the solar plexus. It's like making this whole huge upper heavy bridge of energy flow. And I say the heart because Gaia's frequency has a way of resonating here. Her love, her motherly womb. We are a part of her. And that's why I say heart. We are all connected as one, living here in this earth. So I love working with the ametrine and the citrine duo because it activates the soul spark energy here in this part, and then it activates this divine thread and connection to your soul family. Love working with it. So it helps you pull in that information, helps you pull in that knowledge. Using it in your meditations, it can help transmit your consciousness to another reality. Going within allows you to unlock the universe. So for me, I'm going way in, and I'm learning more and more about who I am through these gemstones. And so I won't go into too many intimate details about my experience with this gemstone, But I've been learning the correlation of water and the universe. And this gemstone gave me a whole different lens or perspective to how this correlates to one universal consciousness to all things that exist. And we got our plants, we got our trees, we got our mineral kingdom, we got our mycelium, we got all the animals. I mean, we are all connected to the same love, spark, all source creator. I mean, it's just amazing how this works. And even just like in this gemstone, the ametrine, the way these tethers, and like think of those, each little line and brand of the fantasy being a thread of light or a tether or a kasha to somebody, and it's pulling in a multitude of dimensional threads. I mean, these gemstones, the way they're cut, literally resemble what the ametrine is actually doing. Isn't that amazing? But as the thread is coming in, as that divine thread, and again, I had to be in my astral state to really see this, but that tether thread from our body to the divine, to our soul, all of it, it flows like a helix. Mine, when I'm looking at mine, I'm seeing a triple helix as it's flowing to those connections. I can actually see them. And it's incredible. It's like a light cord almost. But the ametrine and all of that together creates this bipolar circuit of dynamic. So it's like it's a receiver, but it's also a transmitter with it. And the gemstones, because of its light clarity, helps capture that sun code that comes in from the sun. So you have those golden tethers, you have that soul sovereignty and that channel that's kind of coming in. So it's just fascinating to work and explore with the ametrine and what it can actually do for you on your soul level, because it connects the third eye and the crown chakra. So, it makes me wonder, what else can we do with this? So as we're coming into here, we have this amazing, the idea of the serpent flow. Okay. And again, I see the serpent in symbology as knowledge. So when I read about the stories of Adam and Eve, this is kind of how I perceive it. I don't think that he beguiled her. I think that he just made her aware. Okay. Knowledge makes you aware. So, but the flow of this, it followed the double helix again. So I used 2 wires in that base coil to bring the anchor from the bottom of the golden labradorite to coil up, and it has that middle point. Now notice there, the grounding anchor. I put the hematite in between the two because these 2 gemstones are doing 2 different things. So in a way, where the helix crosses and intersects, okay, so when you have your helix doing this number, right? And when it crosses and intersects this knot, we have our infinity. Okay, our infinity loop is that middle cross section of the helix, as you can see in the pillars on my screen there. So the idea of the hematite, the metaphysics of it, because that's a grounding spot, this anchors the 2 gemstones together in that twist of the double helix spiral. So normally I'll put hematite at the bottom because we're pulling that information in, grounding it to the body and allowing it to transmute through you. But I put it in the middle specifically because there's so much going on with this. Now, the golden labradorite, which we'll show on the next slide, we'll get into the details, the difference of labradorite. But it is more of an outward gemstone, whereas the ametrine is pulling in. So it's like you're creating this bipolar infinity loop of energy within your aura field. So while the upper pole, as we call it, that top part of the infinity loop, the upper pole, this pulls, that's your intuitive crown. That's tuning into high vibrational divine code. It also helps to clear that static and clarify your intuition, clarify your clairvoyance, your clairs, all your clairs, clairsentience, all of them. I've been learning I actually experience multiple. It's super fascinating. But because it's a bipolar circuit, it creates balance. It creates even flow. It creates all these things. But the grounding anchor had to be there because these 2 gemstones together, I mean, again, when I just had the original seat on there without the crystals, okay, I did not originally put the hematite and the Swarovski crystal in there, but I had to because these were like kept you way head in the clouds kind of mindset. It was super airy, super light, made you feel floaty. It's just amazing. But we're living in Earth, so we have to be grounded to some degree. So that's why I put it in there. which is absolutely amazing. So, better catch. So I have my screen zoomed up, so I can't see my chats while you guys are talking. So I have to review for real quick. But oh yeah, so beautiful. Okay, so our next slide. So what is the difference between Labradorite? Okay, Labradorite, I love working with it. I typically work, the bottom left there, you'll see regular Labradorite. I typically work with Labradorite in my own talisman because of what it does for me to help reinforce my aura field, ground my nervous system, make my connections to the divine really anchored and solid and clear, very like it's an energy. So it creates an energetic protective barrier. So it basically acts like a mirror, and any negative type of energy kind of is repelled and sent back to sender. And oftentimes, and I've experienced this many times, when I'm speaking my light, some people just can't stand being in my presence, and I'm okay with that. But they leave. They just can't deal with that. So, and this has a lot to do with that protective aura field. I am actually radiating light, but their negativity can't influence mine. So that's why they leave. They just pick up their stuff and go without saying a word. It's the wildest thing. And I don't mind. If you don't want to receive my light, that is okay. You can make your own choice to be in your own misery. I mean, that's just how I see it. So, and I respect you for it. We all are meant to live our life the way we see fit. And, if you're not resonating well, you can continue to live that, and you're okay to. But there are other ways, not just my way. There's so many other ways we can do this. So working with Labradorite, it has a very lunar and etheric tether. Okay, again, this helps reinforce that silver cord from your body to your soul. So when you're in your dream state, when you're in your astral travels and your meditations, it helps keep you clearly and anchored to your body. And honestly, that cord is so impenetrable. The only one that can sever it is you. Like, that's the truth. There's not a force out there that can break your connection to your body unless you did it. And that's just how we are in this fifth density type of living this Earth's come into. It used to be a little different. We used to be influenced and beguiled, and then they could, these demons, if you will, could manipulate us and control us, but we have to give consent. That's the whole point of universal law, is that there has to be disclosure, there has to be consent. So how are they giving their consent in this world right now? I see it in Hollywood, but whatever. So anyway, the plagioclase and feldspar of the labradorite creates this unique formation of Bytownite. That's how you say that, which is a variety of labradorite. And these crystals are formed in a golden matrix. Okay, and so they range from like a honey golden brown. So you can find the Bytownites in this honey color type of gemstone, all the way to these brilliant light yellow ones, as you can see with mine. It's like this very plush and beautiful light yellow. But it's a type of Bytownite, so it carries the same metaphysical properties of labradorite, but because it doesn't have the fractures and the layering and the minerals and so based on the flash of your labradorite, as you can see with that regular one. Hi, baby girl. I'm in the middle of a live show. Come give me a hug, and I'll be done in just a minute. I love you. Go snuggle up in a blanket. It's kind of cold. Little girl. Her hair is so wild. It's so funny. Every morning. So the yellow labradorite, this gemstone, and it's actually, I'm coming to find it's more called golden labradorite, but not the golden flash type. I mean, it's a gemstone. It's called, essentially it's in its gemology Bytownite. But this helps with that solar and that fire energy, that fierce, like outward projection. Like, we're creating our reality. Like, we're going out there, we're sharing our light, we're sending our soul out. We are radiating like a lighthouse. Okay. So it's like that, the solar plexus, that's our action. This is when our inner child from the sacral chakra comes out and says, I want to play. Let's go do something. So this is that projection, that action. We're creating our sovereign manifestation. We're creating through our sovereign intentions, which is absolutely beautiful how this works. So it's like it takes that gut feeling of, oh, let's go do it. That sounds so exciting. And then we take off and we go for it. So now you can see why this can keep your head in the clouds. So not only do we have the ameturine pulling in divine code, keeping you feeling lighty and floaty, almost like an angelic state, but you also have the outward radiance of the golden labradorite projecting and sending. But what's interesting about this gemstone is not only does it radiate and send out all this energy, it's also really reinforcing your aura field. Like, it's powerful. I don't even know how to explain it, but my experience going for a test run with it yesterday was incredible. We had cool weather, we had cool rain. I asked for, it to not be hot finally because I'm sick of living in this 80-degree house. I like my house at 60, but that's just me. So, but yeah, so this morning we're at 62 degrees. Isn't that crazy? So I've been working with it just to kind of see how my reality can be affected. So we have this. Okay. And this came up this morning because after my dream state, I realized what was happening for the aura field. So in working with this talisman and these two gems together, you have the solar plexus activation, which creates that aura field around us. Okay. And it's like an egg shape. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's like this egg shape. But when you're adding that bipolar bridge of the ameturine with that golden labradorite, it's actually creating a duo and dynamic energy egg for your aura field, and it's creating this balance. So it's pulling in this cosmic divine information, and it's merging and it's spiraling into the grounding anchor of you and what you want to do, your manifestation. It's working in that flow that helps pull all of it together. And then you have your heart harmonizer, okay, again, because we're pulling from the upper and we're pulling from earth, we're bringing it together. We have that harmonizer, the anchor, and the grounder, the hematite. I love working with hematite for its metaphysical stuff, but the hematite is what's balancing all of this. Now, the lastly, the thing we didn't talk about a lot is the Swarovski crystal. Now, Swarovski crystals are actually glass. Okay, they're glass beads, but they're made from Swarovski, Czechoslovakia or something like that. But they make a very unique crystalline glass that has the most brilliant and sparkle in all of glass beads. That's what makes the Swarovski crystal so brilliant. So with these gemstones working in light frequency, I added that little touch of turquoise or indigo blue into it to help pull in the blue code from the sun. So as she's wearing this and it's pressed against her body, she's pulling in the sun's frequency that's filtered through those lenses of the turquoise blue color, that indigo blue, then your ameturine purple and gold, and then the labradorite gold frequency. But then we also have the sun being charging up the hematite, the apex point between the two tops and the bottom. And it just, oh, it's so amazing. But it creates this torus field that's amplified with the two colors. And it's beautiful to see. This is the best I could illustrate based off of my dream experience of it. But yeah, this is kind of how it all came together, these two gemstones. Now, we co-created this. Okay, between Margie and I, we co-created this. She hit me up and she said, look, I've had these since the 80s. I want to create, I love what you do. I'm going to send you them and do your thing. And it makes sense. I mean, it really does make sense. Why it took this long, because it needed, well, first of all, I needed to be born. I was born in 88, so I needed to be born before she could have someone wrap them. So I'll just point that out there. That's how long she's had these, but she just didn't know how she wanted it to come. So what happened is that she commissioned me and sent me these gemstones. So you can see the points there. Okay, this is what I mean is it's pulling in and piercing that light into the body, but it's also like a magnifying glass putting that light energy outward. So I have it set up so that it's actually working as a function, a plug. It's almost like the plug into a wall. It's like bloop, and then you're plugged into something. So it's like, anyway, a certain energetic circuit plug is kind of what I was envisioning with it. But she had, didn't know how it was done. She just loved them. She just had them for a while. And in the 80s, when she paid for them, I mean, she paid a certain price in the 80s. And with the way our economics has gone, these are not easy to find in this clarity with this type of cut. And again, I'm looking at the facets And the way it's faceted, you can't, it's not like the typical set your angles and rub it on a wheel and get your facets on there. No, because each facet is curved, which means it had to be done through a drill process, something that's like a rotary tool to get those facets in there. So these cuts took some serious precision and passion to get it to sparkle and capture the light the way that it does in this fantasy cut. That's what makes these gemstones so beautiful, is because your artists, your creators, just like me, are putting in their love and passion into the creations of these gemstones. Yes, the raw form is magnificent, but channeled with that pure love and intentional frequency in the creation of the gemstones, you're evolving what those gemstones can do. And it was revealed to me in my dream what that meant. I actually could feel the person that that did the lapidary work for these. I could feel their frequency, and they've been doing it a long time. And they love doing every single gemstone they've ever carved. I could feel that in these. That's how crazy it is. So, really, co-creating for us, our nervous system, our healing, our bodies, our mental state, our emotional state, co-creating with somebody with the objective, with the basis of love and the objective to help another grow, really is how Margie and I came together to create this. She's had these my entire lifetime, and here I am now working on this for her. It's just amazing how we've connected, how I'm finding my soul family. These crystal beings, they know where they want to go. They've been with Margie for so long. They just didn't like what was available until now. Truly. So I've had the most magical experience working with this. So I appreciate all of you. I love working with gemstones. I love creating these customs. So this is the end of my presentation. I had so much come through, and I'm still learning about it, because I was also seeing a Merkaba come through in my dream state when I was looking at the frequency of the ametrine. Like when I was looking at Talisman as a whole, I was seeing this shape, this mandala coming through. But the mandala, the petals were flowing in like alternating ways. It was like, it was crazy. I haven't seen anything like it. But you could see the bipolarity of the two. So you got going this way and this one going this way. So yeah, like this, just flowing. Oh, it's the most beautiful experience. But what's crazy is, even after I finally finished it up and I got, all of this done, I mean, it knocked me out. There was so much energy connection there that I warped 3 days of my weekend, or the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which ended up being today, for me to actually speak it, because 3 days of this creation, it merged into one. It was like I was taking naps and working in between, and it only felt like a singular day. That's how wild it was for me and my body. It felt like a singular day. So when my body caught up with the rest of the world and came back into this reality, my nervous system was just depleted. I was just like, oh my gosh, I am going to nap today. I'm going to sleep and recover. And so now I feel great, because I finally worked with it. And coming into this with the Ankh before that, oh my gosh, that was incredible. So I went from the Ankh to this one without that break in between. I went right from one to another. You can see how energetically my body was like, oh. So I need to be careful with myself, is what I'm saying. Because I want to do this for my life, and I don't want my life short. I want to be 1,000 years old. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. You can actually follow this link here, this QR code, to my Sweet Roxx handcrafted jewelry website, where you can see all of my creations. You can read about them, get ideas, but more importantly, you can email me through there. Okay, email for me is an easy way to stay organized. This allows me to just work in queue. I am working at a state where I reach out to somebody in an email, we work on the piece, we create it, we're done. Boom. So I'm working on, a customer at a time is kind of how I need to do my flow, because of what happens to my body in these creations. I can't mass produce bulk stuff like some of these Indonesian markets because there's so much energy that is actually flowing through me. These creations truly, like my mom's, these creations truly have the ability to help us along the way. And I set their intentions to be received in that manner. So we're working with some of the most amazing and exotic specimens like this camerite. Like, oh my gosh, never even heard of camerite. And that's a new one that's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found it right now. Helps with the hemispheres of the brain. My mom needs this. It's just beautiful. But again, a lot of my special community, you can find our special community, Step Into Your Power. It's found right here. This QR code will take you right to it. Get yourself signed up and check it out, because I do share a lot more stuff on there than my other social medias, more personalized, because there in this community is where I find my soul family. Like, truly, I love, love, love everything, all the connections that I have been making in my journey. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, it really is the most magical time to be living. And I'm so glad that I can create something beautiful for another person. So today, like for instance, today I've got a turquoise bead. I talked with somebody. We're going to do a quick breakdown of this one. And then I've got, what's her name? Oh, she's found me and Step Into Your Power. Anyway, sorry if you know who I'm talking about, but we got a Lemurian pendulum with another talisman coming up. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so very much. Oh, and this is going to be done by the 8th. But what we have here, this is my personal 8/8 Lionsgate talisman I'll be building. But the idea of this one is that there is more than meets the eye. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, share the love, get me on this algorithm, because I love talking rocks. Like, this is my favorite thing to do. If you're on my Facebook plan, please hit that like, love it, because it's absolutely amazing. I appreciate all of you. So I leave this to you with the brightest of my soul. I leave this to you with love and gratitude and abundance. So may this go your way. May you receive the frequency of what this broadcast created. I love each and every one of you. You all are my favorite beings, and I'm so glad that I'm connecting with my soul family in this life. This world is so magical. I can't even. It's amazing. So y'all go out and make your own connections. Go and do your thing. Embrace that inner child and just have fun. Truly, this life is meant to be enjoyed. Go have fun. Really. So we'll see you all on my next episode. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye. Oh, better pull this one down. Oh.